If you've ever gotten somewhere only to realize that you got completely ready to get on the bike and left your cell phone, which you needed, because it told you what to do when you got there, so you had to go back. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. What's up, y'all? I forgot my cell phone, so we're heading back because I gotta pick it up for the errands I'm doing before I head into the studio tonight. I hate backtracking. Alright, guy. You are kind of blocking me. Thank you. So, second intro. You know, sometimes things happen, and in life, sometimes you're moving forward, and you hit a little snag, and you have to double back a little bit to get your bearings. Because, you know, sometimes you got to take one step back to make two steps forward. There's some early dad advice for today. Get that in early, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of common that I but forget my cell phone or forget my keys. The keys thing happens a lot less now that I don't have a vehicle that is wirelessly turned on. I previously had vehicles, I thought it'd be cool if it was like just, you know, you just have to have the key on you to get in. Except if the key is near enough, it would turn on. And I would have the key close enough to turn on when I leave and not realize it was not in my pocket when I actually left. So then you'd get where you're going, and it would tell you the whole time, you know, key is not in vicinity, and I'm like, oh, it's just the battery dying. Kind of like what's happening here, the battery is dying. Then it turns out I actually didn't have the key on me, and I'd have to get an Uber or call someone, come get me, go pick up the key. So I just had surgery and my wisdom tooth taken out. I didn't know if I should do a video where I'm talking and writing, because it was a little uncomfortable. It still kind of is. I'm feeling it right now as I'm talking and writing. But I also feel like a little bit of relief because it used to be a lot tighter on my cheek because of where the helmet squishes in. I would feel it, and sometimes I'd be writing and talking to you guys, and I would bite down on my cheek, and I wouldn't say anything. I don't know if any of you guys could actually tell that happened. Y'all probably couldn't, or I might have edited it out, because I do some edits where I edit out like little noises and things, like the air noise. Y'all probably can't hear it, but I'll probably leave it in right here. This noise is usually not there, because I edit that out. But I had my wisdom tooth pulled out. It was kind of a last minute thing, but also a scheduled thing that I had forgotten about. I had a pain in my mouth, and honestly, it didn't really bother me until I was writing and doing a video talking, and it was really cold. And it wasn't cold on the beginning of the ride, but it got cold towards the end, and it was really giving me problems at that point. So I went to the dentist, got in real quick. I thought I had maybe just a slight infection because my nose was kind of running too. It turns out I did have a slight infection because of the wisdom tooth, so they gave me some antibiotics. Took those and then scheduled an appointment 2 weeks later to get my wisdom tooth pulled out. Completely forgot about it because with my schedule I just go day to day and I'm so busy that I forget that I have things scheduled. And I got a call from them the night before like, hey, you're coming in tomorrow. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I can do this. So I've been mostly recovering, not talking much, not really able to eat good food, so everything I eat is like smushed mashed potatoes and sweet potato and just easy soft foods. So I haven't been keto either. It's just been a weird, crazy week. But anyway, this one might not be that long because of that. I'm still having some issue with my jaw, and it is squeezing on me kind of bad. And hopefully, give it another week, I'll be back to normal. Hopefully I'll be eating normal food too. I really miss brisket and steak. Really brisket, Lord. I miss me some brisket. But in other news, I got some collaborations coming up I am already working on. It's a lot of work. A lot of people don't live near me, which is cool. Just trying to figure out time to actually meet up physically, which means I will be taking a road trip ride to go meet up with people. That'll be fun. And then I think I'm going to go to some festival soon, planning that out to make sure it can work it into my schedule. But if I can swing it, I'll be heading to a festival too. That'll be a cool ride. I might have to invest in something that can help me carry some luggage for that, because that'll be a long ride and I'll have to be like overnight for a while. I'm trying to find someone to go with me. I invited some people down. One of my friends from Pennsylvania, another friend from Dallas, syncing up schedules and making things work. That's kind of the issue. Everybody has different schedules, so I don't really know. But hopefully if I can make that ride happen, that's going to be some cool video for you guys. That festival is a motorcycle festival, which is even cooler because I've been to those before. I don't go to the big rides like Sturgis and Daytona. To me, honestly, a lot of that is like people just going to drink. They ride in, they drink. Usually it's novice riders going and they're dropping their bikes. People trying to look cool doing the big, 200 ride, 200 bikes on a ride going through and all that. And I've never really been a fan of that, riding in big groups. That's why you predominantly see me riding by myself. I think I've had one video where I've actually ridden in a group, and that was for a charity event. Otherwise, I don't really ride in a group. I don't really care. Besides that, I usually have a pretty busy schedule myself, so I can't go out and just get on every major ride. And I get invited to a lot. Oh, and you know what? I just thought about it. Y'all have actually seen me do 2 big rides, because I did one on New Year's Day. But that ride, the footage got mostly washed out. I wasn't able to use it. So, which kind of sucks. Oh, dead animal. I think that was a coyote. Nice. Or it was a coyote. Yeah, I've got some rides coming up. I got yet another singer and vocalist I'm going to be working with, and I'm excited about this one. I sent him some tracks. He listened to them. He got back to me and we talked a little bit about it, and he's going to do some stuff, see what he can do on them. These are tracks that you guys haven't heard yet, and I might have to find a studio closer to him so that we can collaborate with, where he can go there. So I'm going to scout for that. But he might also come up and visit me. I don't know if he rides, but he does know, obviously, that I ride. And if he rides, I might try to make it to where we do a ride together. That'd be cool. Super stoked to work with him. And y'all might like what he does, too. Like, he's got some crazy good vocals. Like, I'm super impressed with what I heard. So I'm stoked about that. I have actually been in a really good riding mode. Playing with that Licklam Audio, the King and Yellow pedal, has really inspired me to create a guitar tone that honestly is kind of weird. I remember back in like 2009, there's a band called Inhale Exhale. They came out with this album, and the album was called Buried Me Alive. The thing that always impressed me about that, even though it's an older album, the guitar tone on it was so drastically different than what everybody else was doing. Most everybody else at the time, they were all doing this thing where it was pretty common for you to get like a PV 6505 or a 6505 Plus or a 5150 and crank that up, boost it with an overdrive pedal, kind of like that Licklam Audio pedal, boost it with the Tube Screamer, and then you would have that play. That was your guitar tone. And those are killer amps, but they have a very distinct tone, and they're all very similar in that tone. It just reminds me of that Mesa sound, in the late 90s, early 2000s, that Mesa sound was on everything, every hard rock album. And typically what you would see a studio do, a nice studio, for a modern rock sound at that time, they would mix a Mesa guitar amp for a heavy tone with a Marshall guitar amp for the heavy tone. The Marshall would usually be brighter and have the clarity in the guitar playing, while the Mesa would have that heavy rhythm mid-push for when it was like all muted chugs, you know, chugga-chugga. And that together was pretty predominant on every album that you can think of. I would even harken back to like Creed albums, Nickelback albums, you know, just anything hard rock. Even in like the lower, I guess the bands that you really never heard of that were maybe like local, because every local band followed a bigger rock act, like Breaking Benjamin or something. So they all knew that that was the gear they were using, so the gearheads would buy that and then try to do it, and then everybody sounded like, you know, sound like poop. I never really got into that. I was always searching for the tones that sounded different, and I was super impressed by that band, Inhale Exhale. They had an amp, like a high gain tone that was completely different. It was almost like a pushed clean sound. It had this clarity. In my mind, it was kind of thwacky, the way that guitar sounded. And it wasn't like heavy chug, it was very articulate in the way it sounded. It was just very different. And I always remember that tone because it impressed me. So I had this idea where I want to make a tone like that. And in my mind, the way that I can kind of get clarity out of high gain is with single coils. So I'm going to try to use single coils in doing that, but I need to push them up a little bit higher, which is why I got that Licklam Audio, the King in Yellow. I wanted a tube screamer with a bunch of headroom so that I could push it forward and get this pushed gain out of some clarity. That was my whole reasoning. So that's what I'm inspired to do, and I think it'd be a completely different type of guitar tone to try to make some heavy guitar tones with that would be completely different than what your standard guitar tone would be. And I know today a lot of people are using modelers, you know, Kempers, stuff like that. I'm still interested in trying those. Right now I have amps. I'd rather try to figure it out with live amps the way I've always have. I do have a potential collaboration using modelers that I've never used modelers, so I got a guy I got to meet up with and maybe start using some modeler technology, and I'll figure out incorporating that because I do want to try that as well. Oh man, my jaw is kind of bothering me. I might have to cut this one short, guys. My jaw is kind of bothering me as I'm talking. I'm supposed to be on rest. I don't know what rest means for your mouth when you go to the dentist, but yeah, I'm supposed to be resting and go taking it easy. So we'll make this one a short one. I hope you checked out my unboxing video / playthrough of the Licklam Audio, the King in Yellow. That's the last video. And yeah, if you guys like what you see, or you want to see more of what I'm doing, hit that like and subscribe button. Hit the bell notification to turn on notifications. Besides that, guys, alright y'all, remember, pull hard, play hard.